Up next, we're going to be talking about how to have more joy in your life. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and this is Extraordinary Women TV. My next guest is Judy Suke. She is a motivational humorist, and certainly if there's somebody who knows how to lighten the load, it's Judy. Really looking forward to this one. Later in the segment, before we take a break, I'll have my regular Good to Know Minute when I ask my guests for their top success tip. And you're going to hear Judy's. Hello, Judy.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Oh, it's great having you here. In the studio, you look lovely in blue. Now, you're a funny woman.
Well, people tell me I'm a funny woman. In fact, they label me the funny lady, so yes.
Yes, you're a motivational humorist. What is a motivational humorist?
Well, a motivational humorist is a professional speaker who brings laughter to everything. Whether it's a serious keynote or it's corporate training or wherever it is, there's always laughter, anecdotes, and fun stories involved in it.
Now, at some point along the line, you decided that you wanted to harness your sense of humor.
Harness is a good word for it.
Is it a good word?
Well, my heroes when I was growing up were Red Skelton, Lucille Ball, and Carol Burnett.
Oh, okay.
And I just loved the way they made my mother feel, because she would smile, she would laugh, and I thought, I want to do that. But there's no school of comedy, so I became a corporate person. And as I was a corporate person, I held in the humor because I thought that no one would take me seriously. Oh. And then finally, I joined Toastmasters at one point.
And it really made you laugh?
Well, I accidentally made other people laugh, and I thought, okay, it's all right to let the humor out. And so I went from being a professional speaker, corporate trainer, to being a motivational humorist. When I asked my clients, why do you hire me? They said, because you're funny, people remember what you say, and people do what you tell them.
Where did you find the confidence along the way to do this? Because there are a lot of people out there who want to speak, and they don't have the confidence. And you know, I'm someone who hid from public speaking for 20 years. So where did you find that confidence to say, yeah, this is who I am and I'm going to do it?
A lot of people are afraid of public speaking, and I think there have been times in my life where I was nervous and didn't want to do it. But even as a child, because I loved humor, I would tell stories, and then in school I did win contests, and I was in the drama club. But I had a mother who said to me, Judy, you have just as good a chance of winning or succeeding as anybody else if you give it your best effort. And what she did by saying that was she gave me permission to fail. Because if I failed, it didn't matter as long as I gave my best effort. So I wasn't afraid of making a mistake in front of others. I wasn't afraid of making a fool of myself. And that's what really gave me the guts to get on the big stage and to get out there and do it.
Well, I've read it somewhere along the line. I read that there are 3 fears in life. One is the fear of public speaking. The second fear is dying. And the third fear is dying while we're public speaking.
I've heard that too, and I guess for some people it's so. I coach a lot of people though,
yeah.
And I believe that inside every one of us is the strength to be a public speaker or to speak up and be heard when we want to be.
And there's something true about the audience sort of cheers you on, that the audience wants to see you succeed.
Absolutely, they want you to succeed.
They feel terrible for you when you stumble and you make a mistake, and they really feel badly for you.
I think they're sympathetic. They're just glad it's not them.
So now, in your life, what's important to you is joy.
Absolutely. And I want to help other people to understand how they can find more joy in their life. I think that we take ourselves way too seriously. And I'm guilty of that when I was in the corporate world. I was a human resource manager, had a very stressful job, and I had 2 heart attacks and 4 strokes. And I thought, okay, this is ridiculous. I need to lighten up. I need to tell others how to lighten up. And my mission statement for my company is bringing humor and hope to people around the world. We need to laugh more.
So humor and hope.
It doesn't matter what I talk about, whether it's leadership skills or dealing with difficult people or some of the serious HR ones about, you know, performance appraisals or whatever it is, when I finish, I want people to know that they can do it better tomorrow. So that's the hope of it being better tomorrow than it was yesterday. And then while I'm training them, I want them to laugh. It just feels good.
So Judy, in that time that you had 2 heart attacks and strokes, was there a time in there where you thought, I mean, what propelled you to seek more joy within yourself?
There's loads of times in all of our lives, I think, when we don't have joy and it's hard to get back to it. Certainly in my life, there's been some big ones. My father died when I was 10. I divorced my first husband. My youngest child of 4 was into drugs and drug dealing when he was 15. And so fighting your way back is always a little difficult, and you have to work at it. It takes work and it takes struggling, but I believe we can all get there.
What about someone who is so down and out?
As in deep depression?
Well, yes, deep depression, but who's just so deeply depressed. How do you reach them? That person who you know probably more than anyone else needs a guiding hand.
I've coached people and helped people who were suicidal, who were that close to the edge. And it's a matter of realizing what we should be grateful for. What are the things, and you literally start making a list of gratitudes. You get up and you say, thank you, God, for my home, thank you for my clothes, thank you for my job, thank you for the sunshine, thank you for my talents and my skills, my sense of humor, and you work at that. You figure what you're grateful for and that there's a good reason for you to come out of it. And really, there's a wonderful book that people could read that was written by Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor. She's a brain scientist, and she talks about how the left side of the brain has all of the negativity. It has the fear and the anger and the guilt and the worry, and it's the judgmental side of us, and how we need to get into the right side of the brain, which is more playful, more empathetic, more understanding, creative, loving, fun, playful. And the reason she wrote the book was because she had a horrendous stroke. It was in the left side of the brain, and while she was recovering, she was in the right side, and she thought, I want to stay here. I want to be here more often. And so she called the choice Step to the Right. And I actually have created a new keynote called Step to the Right. The feelings we have, the bad feelings, take 90 seconds to wash through our body. It's a chemical that washes through our body. And women shouldn't beat them, well, anybody shouldn't beat themselves up for having the negative emotion, because it's automatic.
And it also serves.
Absolutely.
A negative mood.
Absolutely.
It does serve.
We need to feel it and experience it.
Sure.
But then we need to know that, okay, enough already. I'm going to step to the right, and I don't want to feel this way. And we talk to ourselves like a crazy person. We say, shut up. I don't want to hear you anymore. I don't want to go there. I don't want to waste my energy on being mad today. And so we literally stop it, and then we go off to the right, and you can think about the future. You can plan something wonderful. You can think of something that entertains you. You can read funny books. You can watch funny movies. Do the things that pull you over there.
So, Judy, what would a joyful life look like, or certainly joy in life? I mean, what does that actually
What does it feel like and look like?
Yeah, just to say someone, oh wow, you know, they're always joyful. I mean, there are people who say to me, I've heard people say, oh, I'm such a joyful person. They'll say that and they'll think, okay, well, I know somewhere there's the other side to it. But you know, what does joy look like, and is it possible to be a joyful person? Absolutely.
I can say to audiences, I love who I am, I love who I am becoming, I love life. And to me, what joy feels like is you look at the world with awe. It's like, isn't everything incredible? Whether it's the good, the bad, or the ugly, you accept it. You think, oh, this is part of the adventure of living life, and then you look for the lesson in it. And so you've always got this odd feeling about how wonderful life is, and you're there all the time. I've actually have audience members that have come up and said that I was living in a state of grace, and that state of grace is being there, is being in the moment, is being full of love and full of understanding and full of empathy and contentment with life no matter what's happening.
Did you think our childlike spirit, or that essence that's inside of us that never, ever, ever really wants to grow up? I know I've got that inside of me.
Yeah, we have to pull that out more often.
It's important.
You know, there's a commercial on TV, and I love it. And in the commercial, the little babies are laughing. It just bubbles up inside them, and it explodes out of them, and the one falls over, he's giggling so hard, and you cannot help but smile and laugh at that. We've all got that inside us. We just have to realize it's okay to let it out more often. That we can go there, we can be playful. Loretta LaRoche wrote a wonderful book called Life is Not a Stress Rehearsal. And she says your inner child is probably miserable because your outer adult isn't having any fun. So we just got to have more fun. We got to be more playful.
And some adults might say, oh, that sounds ridiculous because then I'm going to appear like I'm being childish. So what's the difference?
What's the difference between looking childish and nothing? You just have to have the guts to do it. I mean,
childlike, between being childlike, bring out your childlike and childish.
Okay, childish can be bad because that's more temperamental type people.
Yeah.
It's ones who are being ridiculous. Where childlike is that wonder of things. It's like when you walk into a party, if you're in the left side of brain, you're kind of nervous and you're thinking, what will people think of me? What do I want people to look at? How do I want people to feel about me? And so we're all in that worry stage. Whereas the childlike side goes, who's here? Who else is here? And it's excited about seeing them. And when you're there, the energy, well, you can feel the energy coming off me. The energy that you create when you're in that spot is so positive, everybody feels it in the room.
So Judy, is there a topic that, in your experience, that people laugh at more than anything else?
Children are good. Our own embarrassing moments are always good. I share a lot of my most embarrassing moments with audience members.
So it's like the slipping on the banana peel.
Yeah, and going to the washroom with your mic turned on.
Oh, okay.
Which I've done. It's that willingness to laugh at yourself.
Self-deprecating humor?
Self-deprecating humor. Your most embarrassing moments, entertain people, and experiences you've had.
Now, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll pick it up. But this is my Good to Know Minute, and Judy, I know you've got a great success tip, so jump right in there.
I do, and it's a success tip not just for career people. I think whether we're talking about your professional life, your personal life, or your retirement, people should have a vision, a clear vision and a vision board. They should have pictures and words that describe what they want to be. To me, not having the vision is like having a 1,000-piece puzzle with no picture on the box. Even when people are retiring, they can create the life they want by knowing exactly what it should be.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you so much. Have a vision. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with motivational humorist Judy Suke. Welcome back to the show. I'm Shannon Skinner, and I am speaking with Judy Suke, motivational humorist, and I love that handle. Maybe someday I could be a motivational humorist.
Absolutely. Maybe you already are.
I'm not very funny.
You are. You are. You just maybe don't let it out as much yet.
Now, Judy, you wrote a book called From Stage to the Page. Let's talk about your book.
Oh, it's my baby, really, and I'm so glad to get it out there. 4 of us came together, 4 funny ladies. In fact, the full title of the book is From the Stage to the Page, Life Lessons from 4 Funny Ladies. And we've all had stand-up comedy experience, and we're now corporate trainers and keynoters and professional speakers. The 4 authors are Judy Suke, of course, Meg Soper, Judy Croon, and Susan Stewart. And the whole idea behind the book is that we want people to handle the stress of their life better. Part of our goal was that they could laugh while they were reading the book, because laughter has this power to give you energy and raise your spirits, and it cures you, helps you with everything. And we thought if people can laugh while they're reading it and get good lessons out of it as well, then it's going to serve its purpose out there.
So, but this is a new book?
brand new.
Brand
it just
new?
came
Right.
off the presses in December.
Yeah.
And we are doing charity events using it so that we can help people raise money. And so we'll do the comedy show and get out there and raise money for people too. All of us feel that we want to give back to the community. We've all got that spirit, and so if somebody is interested and has a charity event that they want us to help with, we're certainly welcome to. And I would love to read one of the testimonials on the back. Brent Butt, who's the comedian, creator, executive producer of Corner Gas and Hiccups, he says, sure, comedy can be dark, angry, and bitter, but it can also be positive, insightful, and uplifting. These ladies prove that over and over and over. And I think that sums it up.
You know, I had Judy Croon on the show, and you know, she was so much fun and just such an interesting woman, but just such a delight to interview, and what she's doing in her heart, her real desire to give back.
Very much, and all four of us are the same way. So 4 people with the same spirit and the same zest for life, and we came together to write the book.
Well, now humor is something that's humor is interesting because you have to be careful. What someone finds funny, someone else will be offended, and if you're a speaker, you have to be even much more careful because you can really offend and turn off your audience by just saying the wrong thing. And as soon as you say the wrong thing, you've offended them. Click. It goes off.
You're right, and a lot of work goes into creating our keynotes and our corporate training packages because we think of that. We're very much a politically correct society, and we don't ever want to offend even one person in the audience. It's not like Yuck Yucks or stand-up comedy. It's totally different humor, and it's the type of humor that comes from, you know, experiences in life and funny things that happen in the workplace, and even really good quotes. There's lots of really good funny quotes out there that you can use. So corporations and that don't have to worry because any of us that are on the circuit are really careful about what humor we put into things.
And in terms of your book, Life Lessons, I mean, can you give us some examples of...
a good life lesson?
Yeah.
Certainly. One of them is live in the present.
Okay.
Ziggy Cartoon said, there's no future in spending the present worried about the past. Pretty good advice.
Brilliant, yeah.
But women are worse at this than men. We have this little chip in our head that I call a list keeper. So we hold on to things just in case we can use them in a future argument. So we get in an argument with our husband, and it's never about what he did today. We'll tell him everything he did from the day that we met him, and it lasts forever. And so that's one of the tips, is to lighten up, to dump that and get rid of it. I think everybody carries the things that people said to them and did to them in this imaginary sack on our shoulder. And at nighttime we put it down before we go to sleep, and we think, what did that person say to me? What did that person do to me? And so we just have to let go of that and move on.
Well, I've heard it said that the past no longer exists.
No.
And we keep bringing that past
it does in our minds, and that's...
But only in the mind.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And people have trouble with forgiving, and you wouldn't think forgiving can be funny, but it absolutely is, that you move on and you forgive people. It doesn't mean that what they did was okay, and it doesn't mean that it didn't hurt you. It just means I'm not going to let it bother me anymore.
So let it go.
I'm not going to go there. Another one is don't be normal. That's one of my tips to people. Don't be normal. Loretta LaRoche has a quote in one of her books, and she says that people who don't feel pressure to conform to societal standards live longer, happier lives. In other words, if you don't care what people think, if you're not worried about being judged, you live a longer, happier life. And so the Red Hat Society has it right with their red hats in the restaurants all the time.
My mom's a red hatter. Mom, listen to
there
this.
You go. She's got it right. Because we've got to live with the joy and not be afraid to be joyful. Like you said, are people afraid of being childish? Well, so what? Dance like nobody's watching. I love that quote. Sing if you want to sing. And wear bright colors, like red is a quirky person's color and blue is a quirky person's color.
We're both quirky.
Because quirky people bring a richness to the world. They're the inventors and the innovators, and they see life more than other people do. And often they're laughing. So be quirky yourself. Get out there and do that.
So, Judy, do you think it's our quirks that actually makes us unique?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And I read this somewhere recently, and I can't remember the article, but it said that women in their 50s and 60s finally become who they were inside, because they're not afraid of anybody judging them. And so that's when they become a little eccentric.
It's almost like, what do I have left? What do I have to lose? I just want to be me.
That's right. My mother, who's 98 and still lives on her own, says that after 90 there's no peer pressure. You can say and do what you want. I just started it a little younger than that. You can't worry about people.
So Judy, what do you, what's your vision from where you go from here?
For me, what else do I want to do in my life? I definitely want to write more books. Okay. There's a series in me that I want to write, and it's called Life Can Be Funny, Tips to Get Through It. Then I want to do Life Can Be Funny at the Hospital, Life Can Be Funny in Sales, Life Can Be Funny as a teacher, Life Can Be Funny as a parent, and I'm going to collect everybody's stories, so if they want to send them to me, they can. Collect stories, and then just keep pumping the books out, kind of like Chicken Soup for the Soul. And just... But they'll entertain people, because every day we do things that we laugh at.
And we want to be entertained. Yeah. That's why, you know, so many people watch television and
so
movies.
Just little quick anecdotes that people can read when they're on an airplane, or they can read when they're sick. The type of books you'd give a friend when they weren't feeling well, or when they were sick, or when they needed to be brought up with energy. That's what I want to keep doing. Write a lot more. And I love the stage. The stage is, the more people in the audience, the more energy I have. And it's just wonderful.
So Judy, if there's someone watching who has an idea that they want to be a motivational speaker, particularly a motivational humorist, what would be your advice to them?
Well, it's not the easiest business to get into, and certainly there's a lot of competition. Get in touch with me would be a good idea, because I'm willing to share how I did it with other people. But I think Toastmasters is a good place to go, because they teach you how to craft and write content, and they teach you the stage presence and all the little tricks of vocal variety and gestures. But really finding a good mentor, somebody who's been where you want to go, and learning the ins and outs to move up through the business. But there are so many jobs out there. I think that we do need more speakers, especially if they're humorist speakers. I do gigs in the retirement homes and in churches, and you know, the Lions Club, the Rotary Club. There's all these places that need speakers. So when they're starting up, there's loads of places where they can go and try it out.
Well, Judy, unfortunately, we've run out of time, and I have really enjoyed speaking with you and this time with you, and thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom and some humor.
Thank you for having me. Love being here.
Well, for more information about Judy Suke, you can find it on my website at extraordinarywomentv.com. Her episode page is there, where you will see this video, as well as her bio and more information. And of course, if you're interested in finding out more about upcoming shows, past guests, and to contact me, you can visit the website at extraordinarywomentv.com. Well, if you are interested in transforming your life, I hope these stories have inspired you. You've been watching Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. See you soon.